Supernovas Unlimited. Anna Bellinghausen here along with Geoff Exstrom, right from the Omaha Supernovas. We're going to bring you a podcast monthly, hopefully even weekly, bi-weekly, to bring you some more information on the Supernovas, get to know the players, get to know the front office staff, get to know us as well. So why don't we start off the first one with two very special guests, Gina Mancuso-Prososki, everybody, and then Maggie Cartwright, our rookie. Come on up, Maggie. How are we doing today, guys? Keep the applause going. And of course, we have the best fans in the United States in attendance. Thank you all again for coming out and breaking records left and right. Geoff Exstrom, you're the numbers guy for this team. What was that last record attendance?
Yes, I'm the stat nerd. I got 12,090 fans, a U.S. pro volleyball attendance record. And that's all due to the great fans here in Omaha. And fun fact, 4 of the top 5 professional volleyball crowds came here in Omaha by the Supernovas. Top 5 overall came all here in Nebraska. So pat yourselves on the back, folks.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Well, let's start with the players here. We'll have Coach Bird up later on in the show, but just the support in Omaha. I know it probably doesn't surprise you whatsoever, but Gina, can you tell us just how much it means to see the continued support for the Omaha Supernovas?
Yeah, it means a lot. It's really something fantastic, really, to have this much support always. And I know, like, I'm confident. I'm from here, so I'm confident in saying this, but I know it will always be that way. There's just something in our water here. We love volleyball. We crave it. We want to watch it. We want to be a part of it. And so it's been amazing just to see that support not only continue, but I think grow.
And Maggie, you've gotten to experience the Nebraska fandom as well. You were just here in the NCAA tournament with Arkansas. What was your experience like getting that first taste of Nebraska?
It was cool. I would say in college we got a good amount of fans in Arkansas, but especially for the tournament, they came and they showed out, and it was really exciting and a great atmosphere to be in, obviously. They weren't rooting for us, but still, it was nice. They were just excited to be there and, watch volleyball.
Was that your first time in Nebraska, that tournament?
Besides club, yes,
Okay,
it was.
Well, Gina, you went to Nebraska. You're used to the pressure of being here and the volleyball that comes with it. Came from Papillion La Vista High School right to Nebraska. How do you deal with the pressure of playing in your home state?
I don't really see it like that, honestly. I see it more as like, hey, they want to see me play. Like, I got to play for them. I guess I don't really see it as pressure, but I think what it comes down to is at the end of the day, we're all competitors and we want to win. And so that's really our main focus. And when you're a professional athlete, that's what you need to focus on. If you start to focus on the pressures and everything else, expectations, fans, oh, what did someone say on social media? That's when your performance is going to lessen. And that's what you don't want to happen as a professional athlete. So I really don't see it as it's more of a perspective thing. You don't look at it as a pressure situation. You look at it as an opportunity to perform for the people who love you and want to see you do well. So.
And how do you get to that perspective? Because that's probably not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's a muscle training. You have to train your mind to think that way and to have that perspective on things, not only in a sports world. This can be applicable in all areas of life, but it's something that you really have to train over and over, because getting into a negative headspace is really easy, right? I'm sure we've all stumbled there. So it's daily work, but you just remind yourself of what's right and what's going to lead to your success.
Maggie, you come from an outside perspective too, out of Wisconsin, and then you go to college at Arkansas and kind of have a blank slate here in Nebraska, getting to learn the people and what the state's about. What's been your first impression now professionally?
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy coming in as a younger kid. You get to play with, this variety of ages. But yeah, I think, I do have a clean slate, and I don't know, not really a personality change, but just there are things that I knew I came in and I knew I could be better at coming in. So just being from Arkansas or from Wisconsin, going to Arkansas and coming here, not knowing anyone, I think it has allowed me to kind of develop better mentally in my game. But yeah, I think it's been awesome.
Yeah, what's it like getting to learn from the veterans? I mean, Gina, Betty De La Cruz. I mean, you have such good
When
mentors.
she said range of ages, I knew
Yeah,
she was
she's
talking
looking at
about
you.
me.
It's been cool. I mean, there's a lot of feedback for the younger kids, which is overwhelming at sometimes, but it's nice because you just want to take it all in. And you know, Betty's not one to say a lot, but when she does speak, you want to listen. And I think we have a lot of wise people. It's never like, oh, like what is, like she's just speaking gibberish, you know. You hear this feedback, and I think being younger, it's like, okay, yes, and you kind of store those and make mental notes like, okay, this is what I can do. Like, they obviously know, they've been there. And so, I don't know, as being younger, I just kind of try to take it all in.
Yeah. What do you hope to pass down, Gina, to the younger ones?
Life goes by so fast. So although this is our career and it's our job, at the end of the day, we're still humans. So just to enjoy every little bit. I know that's so cliche, but I'm 32. Just yesterday, I was 23. Like, life goes by so fast. And sometimes as professional athletes, I think we really beat ourselves up. Like, we're our own biggest critics. And so just allowing yourself to give yourself grace in our failures, don't let that ruin your outside life of sports. Just enjoy the moments when you can.
And Gina, we have to mention congratulations, first of all, on your announcement of your pregnancy with your husband, Mason. If you haven't seen the video online, you absolutely have to watch it. We're not going to make you read the letter and repeat everything.
Too many criers
Too many
here.
emotions here. But how much support have you received from the community?
Oh, well, I got locked out of Instagram for 4 days after that video went live. Wow. So I still am trying to catch up on all the comments, but it's really been overwhelming in the best way. I've gotten so many women who have reached out to me saying, thank you for sharing your story. This is exactly what I needed, because a lot of women go through what I've gone through and then some. Like, I consider myself lucky. I know there are some women who have had a much longer challenge and you know, situation than I have, but they have supported me and said, thank you for just speaking up about this, because, you know, people don't, and it's hard and it's difficult, but this is just what I needed for hope. And so I just felt like, yes, it was risky for me to be that vulnerable and that personal publicly, but my only hope in all of that was the platform that I was given, that I could at least encourage and provide hope for one. That's all I needed, was just one, and I've been very blessed to have a lot of ones. There's been a lot of people who just really supported me in that area, but also just coming alongside me and celebrating this news. I know I mentioned just a short bit in that video, a lot of times in sports for women, when you're pregnant, it's a negative thing. And so just to have that many people celebrate me, like truly be happy for me, is just incredible. And it needs to happen more often. And so with this, I think that it's really set a great example of how we need to move forward as a society, as culture, just towards women who become pregnant, who happen to be athletes. It needs to be something that's celebrated and not frowned upon. So, in short, I've had an overwhelmingly positive response to my news, which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, I mean, Gina, that's the first known pregnancy in the Pro Volleyball Federation. So, I mean, you talked about it a little, but what impact do you hope to have, not only women in general, but women in sports?
Yeah, I think what I just mentioned is like the perspective on it. I think that needs to change. I know for a fact women in the past, they've been forced into decisions to make that news go away, if you know what I mean. And that needs to change. So that is my hope, that is my dream, and that's what I believe has started in my announcement, for example. Just that change in society and how we look at women who are athletes, who are pregnant. It needs to happen. Mm-hmm. And so I think Omaha, yes, but I've gotten national messages, and I just am really happy that people are catching on to that.
I mean, this came in the middle of the playing season, so how has your perspective changed from being an active player on the roster, all of a sudden you're sidelined for a great reason, but just like that sudden change within a team dynamic? How have you adjusted to that, and how has your perspective maybe changed?
I would say that, sure, there's still a little bit of sadness in me. I wish that I could still be performing for all of you guys who have really, I mean, I've been seeing you guys since June when the Omaha Supernovas and I really just hit the communities, and everybody is like, I can't wait to see you play again. And I'm like, you remember me? This was like 12 years ago. I feel so old. But so there's a little bit of sadness in me that I can't do that. But my joy is so much greater than that little sadness. And so I'm very excited, yes. But how I've kind of just shifted is I really just try and approach each day. Hopefully Coach Bird can vouch for me, or, you know, Michael on the staff. Like, I just approach each day like, how can I help? Can I fill up water bottles? Can I carry a med bag? Can I do down balls for this drill? And that's just how I want to help my team most, is just being around, being helpful. I don't want this to be a separation between me and my team, so I've really tried to work hard on just being present and being available whenever someone needs me.
Well, hey, they didn't even let you carry a med bag. Is that
I know. There was a time we were in Grand Rapids that we were kind of waiting for the security, and there was 2 doors, and it was really cold out. And they're like, Gina, you wait inside. And I'm like, I'm fine, you guys. And they're like, no, it's too cold out here for you. So they've been really great. And, you know, I had like teammate Nia Reed a couple days ago be like, hey, how's my baby doing? I'm like, your baby? Yeah, your baby. She's doing good. Oh, she. I don't even know if it's a boy or girl. I don't know why I just said she. But maybe it's prophetic. I don't know. So, yeah.
And, I mean, if the other moms on the team, have they given you any advice? Have they just talked to you about this in general yet? I mean, what have they talked to you about?
Yeah. Cree, Betty, Jess, they've all been great examples for me, and just resources, really. I'll always say, like, I usually ask Jess just because she's the newest mom. I'm like, is this normal, or like, am I supposed to feel this way? And she's like, oh girl, just wait. So they've been great resources for me and always available to any questions that I have.
Maggie, you won't see Gina back on the court, but what does she mean to this team, and just her support and how she shows up every day?
Yeah, I think the role has changed a little bit. I know we didn't get a lot of time with you. I didn't play with you a lot. I know that you came into the gym every day with a positive attitude. I mean, you're great at volleyball, but I think you're an even better person. And just to be able to have you in the gym, and I know you've been working really hard at just, you know, whether it is hitting down balls, just being really strict with us, like getting better. You never come in, you're like, oh, like I'm just a pregnant lady and I'm here. But like truly, I think you want to see this team succeed, and you want to see every single one of us succeed. And I think she's just came into the gym, whether it is extra reps after practice, it's like, hey, we're going to take these reps as if these are your last reps, like make them good. And there has been a little change, but I think, I mean, you've been doing great at coming in and coaching how you need to coach. And it's, you know, we hear it from you're a player, but you're also kind of a coach. So it's like we've played side by side, but also you're coaching us now. And I think, I don't know, we're like, okay, yeah, like it makes sense when you say it like this. So I think that's cool to hear things from Gina, because we did play with her.
Yeah. Maggie, let's dive a little bit into your journey. Drafted 22nd overall to the Supernovas in the first ever professional volleyball draft. I mean, round of applause for that. That's pretty sweet. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you ever think that was possible?
No. Honestly, I know I called Coach Bird, but I think the night before the draft, and I was like, hey, she's like, oh, like you're super cool. We would love to have you. And
It totally sounds like Bird.
And I was like, I don't know, like what it's going to be like, how the draft is going to go, if I'm on anyone's radar. Like it was just this crazy thing. And I know I had talked to my teammate at the time, Jill, and we're like, hey, what round of the draft are they on? So it was kind of this chaotic thing, but never in a million years did I think I was going to be playing professional volleyball in the United States. And I mean, I didn't want to go play overseas. I hate flying. I don't think you could get me on a plane. So this is a literal dream come true. And no, even the week before the draft, I didn't think it was a real thing, honestly, until I got that call, and I was like, okay, this is happening.
That's amazing.
I mean, did you have certain, obviously Supernovas drafted you, but did you have certain teams reach out before the draft, or was it just it's draft day, I'm going to call from a pro team, I got drafted?
We did. I know I talked to Coach Suze and Coach Jason at Arkansas, and I was like, how does this work? And they're like, we have no idea. And so they obviously, Coach Bird being in the SEC, had her contacts and like, hey, just like, she'll answer any questions, like you can talk to her. And I know I had talked to Amy Pauley, but I didn't really know, like I had no idea like what anything entailed of. And so I talked to Amy Pauley, I think the night before also, and I was like, hey, like, what does your draft board look like? I had no idea what I was talking about. I was like, what does your draft board look like?
You sounded like it.
Yeah. I was reading off a text from one of my coaches. And so, yeah, I guess that was like the only communication, and Bird was literally, you're super cool. We love your quote. We love your swag. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know what that means, but sure. So that was my conversation prior to the draft. And those are the only two people I had talked to. So, yeah.
Well, where were you when you got that call? And what was your reaction afterward?
Well, I was in Springfield, Missouri with my boyfriend at the time, and I was just sitting there. I don't know what time it started, but it had been 3 hours that had passed, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. But I'm not really like a crazy emotional person, but I got the call, and I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, I'll sign the contract. Awesome. Then I hung up the phone and I sat there and I was like, I just started crying. I was like, Mom, I think I'm going to Omaha. And she was like, my mom starts bawling. I was like, all right, that's enough. But yeah, it was very emotional because I was living in Arkansas for 5 years and I'm from Wisconsin, and now I'm going to Omaha. So I just had to figure out how I was going to pack up my whole life and move it here. But it's a very emotional day for me.
You must have been just living out of luggage going into sun change of environments like that.
Yeah, I had a good duffel bag at the time.
You also had to earn your spot, too, on this Supernovas team, which we know is full of talent. What was that process like for you in trusting in your ability?
Yeah, it's crazy. I know that age is just a number, but also it's kind of scary coming into a gym as a 23-year-old and you're like, hey, we have some 30-year-olds that have been playing for this amount of time and you're competing for that spot against them. And it's hard not to doubt yourself and be like, I'm probably not as good as them. I haven't been playing as long as them. But I think our gym was special during training camp. I think no one made each other feel like someone was less than. Like, I knew I came in one day and I was like, I feel like I'm spinning in circles and I don't know what's going on. And like, my teammates were just like, no, you're good. Like, you got this. This is what, like, just do this, like, make this adjustment. And I think that was pretty cool. I think that gave me some confidence. I'm like, oh, like, I'm not some dumb 23-year-old that just came in and I don't know what I'm doing. And so they really support, like, I think we do a great job at supporting each other and just building each other up. But yeah, it's been different, but I think we did a great job at just making each other feel like a team and like we actually have each other's backs.
Gina, time to brag on Maggie now. What impressed you about this youngster?
God.
Do I start with volleyball
Gina.
or personality? Because personality is something. I love it. It's hard for me to ever see, I guess it's hard for me because it rarely ever happens, but Maggie's never a negative person. She's never really upset. Like, for example, this girl is terrified of flying in airplanes, and yet she's cracking jokes, laughing, having a good time when we're boarding a plane, even though we all know she's absolutely terrified. So she does a great job with just managing her emotions. And so that's something I really respect, just because I do know some things about you, just through some discussions, and she makes it look easy. And so I really respect that and admire that in her at even such a young age. So that's one thing. And then lately, I would say your serve in volleyball has really gotten to be a bullet. So if you're looking for a volleyball thing, that's what's most impressive right now. Is that thing is coming at you, a line drive, hard to pass.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Good thing I don't have to pass anymore.
She's getting up to the Betty De La Cruz level. Is that what we're hearing?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I would say yes. Some would even argue that a float serve is harder to pass than a topspin serve.
Okay.
But Betty's is also interesting because it not only tops, but it goes to the side. And so I don't know, for you fans who have the sideline views, you might not ever see that. But the ones who have the end line views, you can probably notice that they don't typically go straight. They tail, usually to the right. Wait, if there's any opponents watching,
Maybe
don't
to the
listen
left.
into that. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. You got to be ready for anything. But yeah, so she's got a really great float serve right now. It's awesome.
That's amazing.
Well, I mean, Maggie, you've used that to your advantage a couple times here, getting in some of the action. You had 10 kills on February 25th against Orlando, against someone you might know, Jill Gillen, former teammate at Arkansas, 5 seasons together. And you've faced her 4 times, and you've beaten her now 4 times. I mean, how freaky is that? Is that a couple months ago, you're competing in the Elite 8 together, and now you're facing each other in pro volleyball?
It's cool. I mean, I know for both of us during the draft, we kind of were texting and calling each other, so we had no idea what was going on, and we didn't know where any of this would take us. So seeing each other on the other side of the net has been awesome, and I love watching her play, and I know my family does too, and so I don't know, it's cool. I love supporting her, and I know she supports me, and just being able to play against each other has been awesome. And we almost played with you. She was almost on our team. So I was like, oh, we were teammates for 2 seconds. But yeah, it's been awesome. I'm happy we've won. And it's kind of hard. I'm like, I really want you to do well. I want us to also win. Yeah. So, and I think that's happened. I think she's played phenomenally, and we've still won. So I'm just happy for her and this team.
Still text her or talk with her at all and just maybe jab at her? It's like, hey, we're 4-0 against you, just so you know.
No, I don't jab at her. You don't want to poke the bear sometimes. Yeah. No, we do text, we do talk, especially after the games. We get to see each other, which has been cool. And, we ended our season. We're like, oh, well, this is it. And so being able to see each other after games and still just be in communication has been awesome. And I get to see her family, and we actually got to see our head coach this past weekend, so it's been nice. Yeah.
Gina, I want to talk about your time overseas as well. A 7-year pro. You've been to Puerto Rico, Poland, Germany, and one country I can't pronounce. If you
Azerbaijan.
Yep, that one. For the fans,
Indonesia.
And Indonesia.
Can you pronounce that
Indonesia.
one?
I can do that one.
Okay.
That'd be embarrassing if you would have said that one first. Can you explain to the fans just what it's like to go overseas and play professionally?
Well, I'll start with the positive. The positive is you get to see places in the world that you most likely never would without that opportunity to play. And it's really fun to learn other cultures and make friends overseas. But that might be it. Otherwise, it's really hard, you guys. Not a lot of people have it in them to go 9 months overseas, say goodbye to all their family, all their friends, be completely isolated, because a lot of the times you have your own apartment overseas, and your teammates don't always speak English. Your coach might not even speak English. And so you're really isolated. You're really by yourself. And so it's really up to you to make relationships with your teammates. But on top of that, you're in a land that you have no idea where things are. You have to just figure it out as you go. I literally got dropped off at a car dealership lot after I just landed in Poland. Got in my car, they gave me the address, and I go to turn the car on, and it's a stick shift. And I'm okay. Guess how many times I killed that car on the way to my apartment? Too many to count. So it's like you really just get thrown into these situations where you're like, I can't Google this. I can't call my dad right now. I just have to figure it out. So you although that is a positive, you learn and you grow a lot. It's just really stressful and scary sometimes. another thing is like, you take toilets for granted because like in Indonesia, it was a hole in the ground infested with mosquitoes with no toilet paper. So it's like, it's just really difficult. And it's, yes, you have good memories. And for me anyway, even if it was a bad experience, it was still worth it. It was still, you can always find the positive or the silver lining in something. But it was a really big sacrifice for a lot of us. And so that's why the Pro Volleyball Federation has literally changed our lives, because we no longer have to do that. I mean, Maggie right here is a testament. Like, she didn't even think playing in the United States was a thing, and now here she is. She was never forced to go overseas. She had that third choice, leaving college to now play pro here instead of quitting or going overseas. Now she could play here. So it's really been life-changing to be able to have this opportunity to play in the United States of America, because overseas you just don't get things that you get here. I'll say it as nicely as that.
So what was your reaction when you got the call that not only there would be professional volleyball in the U.S., but in Nebraska?
Well, first in the U.S., I didn't believe it. I was like, are you sure that's really going to happen? And then I had the opportunity to speak with Jen Spiker, the CEO, and that lady is amazing. She knows what she's doing. She's very, she's a go-getter. She's business-oriented. So I was convinced from the first 5 minutes that I was speaking to her that, okay, this is really happening. And then, of course, I was like, you're going to have a team in Nebraska, right? I mean, it would be a no-brainer. And she confirmed, yes, Omaha. And so I was like, oh, this is so exciting for me. Like, this is like, I never thought this would happen, because when I graduated at Nebraska, I thought that was the last time I was ever going to play in front of my family and friends. So yeah, it was such a cool moment. I was like, just keeping my fingers crossed the whole time, because you know, it's just such a life-changing thing. A lot of us were like holding our breath, like, is it really going to happen? Is it really going to happen? And then finally, when it was confirmed, we were like, okay, let's go.
Mm-hmm. In the college years too, I mean, your roots run so deep through Nebraska. Your sister Danny also played for the Cornhuskers, and of course growing up right here in Papillion, La Vista, going to that high school. How special was it to fulfill that dream in college, and then now just have another full circle moment being back right here with these fans?
Yeah, I'm sure some of you here have mistaken me for Danny. It happens all the time, my whole life. But I'm not mad about it, because I absolutely love my sister. I think she's been an amazing role model for me, not only in volleyball and as a competitor, because she is the most competitive Mancuso in our family. She hates losing. But as a person, I just really admire her. So being able to follow in her footsteps at Nebraska, although I was called Danny all the time, it was an honor for me. And so I did not achieve what she did, because she has a national title over me. Sensitive subject still to this day. But just to follow in her footsteps was, yeah, like I said, an honor for me. And I was really happy to do that. And then play, you know, being a local, and just knowing the support of Nebraskans, I knew I was where I was supposed to be, and that it was special no matter if I was playing or not playing, and that it just meant the world to not only me but my family, that I was so close and representing Big Red.
I'd say you'd still had a pretty good career.
Yeah, but like the national title is like...
But who's playing professional volleyball?
True, yeah, there you go.
True. She did play for a couple years, but now she has 6 kids.
There you go.
Well, Maggie, I kind of want to shift gears and go back to kind of what Gina was saying about how you had that third option of playing in the United States. What was the plan if there was no Pro Volleyball Federation?
She wasn't sure. She said that earlier.
The plan is that there was no plan. I guess for me, my plan, I want to coach eventually, and I've always wanted to coach with Jason Watson, my head coach at Arkansas. So that was always something for me, but I knew I wanted to continue playing volleyball, and I was like, maybe Puerto Rico, I can drive to Florida and then maybe fly out of there. The flight wouldn't be too bad. And but yeah, I think I thought about Puerto Rico, but I didn't make a plan. And I think that's why things work, is because I I tried not to stress about it. I wasn't too concerned about it. And I think I was just like, you just can't grip onto things like that too much. And I was like, okay, you're just going to pray about it and let God do this work. And I think that's what truly happened, because I didn't try. I don't know. I didn't really do much. I didn't make a plan. I just let it be.
Well, then, I mean, how's your first year been? What's been kind of the biggest adjustment going from college to pro?
Well, my first year so far has been great. I mean, the girls are amazing. The atmosphere is amazing, especially being in Omaha. Whether I'm playing on the court or not, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to cheer for these girls, too. I think the biggest adjustment volleyball-wise, I think the game is a lot faster. I think blocking's a tough thing for me. I think blocking's tough overall, but just like, I feel like the game is so fast and the setters are really good that it's just like, when I first got in the gym, I was like, I don't know what's going on. So that's been probably the biggest adjustment, but nothing too crazy. I think, hitting's the same. Defense, you're learning new things, but other than that, I think the speed of the game is just faster.
Was there ever a welcome to pro volleyball moment for you?
Oh, God. Yeah, Gina was in my welcome to pro volleyball moment.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I sent it to you. We were doing hitting against shovels. Gina was holding a shovel, and I go up to hit the craziest cut shot of my life, and I hit the ball straight under the net, and I go, well, that's a first. And I'll never forget that. I sent it to my coach, and I was like, I think I am in over my head. I hit the ball under the net. But it was too early on for people to say donuts, so everyone's like, next one.
No one has come through with that either, by the way. We have like 5 people who owe us donuts.
Yeah, I think I'm like 04 of them. But yeah, that was my... I don't know. That was an experience.
Well, hey, you got 10 kills in your pro debut, so I think you know what you're doing.
You made up for it.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. It makes me feel better.
All right, well, before we wrap up with you guys up here, we have some trivia. And I know both of you are very excited for this. And not only is it trivia, it's Nebraska trivia, which, of course, everyone, okay, Gina, you have the advantage. But I really don't think so. I made these very difficult. And as a Nebraska native myself, I didn't know many of these.
Okay.
Good.
Let's hit the music. Grab the whiteboard under you.
Oh, now I'm stressed.
Now the suspenseful music will play. All right, first question. It's multiple choice, so you guys have some options here. Which is not a name of a town in Nebraska? So I made one of these up. Friend, Valentine, or Love? Which one is fake? Friend, Valentine, or Love?
Am I right?
I'm not going to tell you yet. All right, turn them. Oh, both right.
There you go.
Good job.
We both got them right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Give them a little ding. Put a tally on your board.
Okay.
Okay. Next one. This will really test your knowledge here. Which famous baseball athlete is from Omaha? A, George Brett. B, Bob Gibson. C, Chipper Jones. All right.
My husband's going to be mad at me if I miss this.
Turn them. It's Bob Gibson.
Aww.
Baseball for the win there.
Thank you, Mason.
There you go.
Because his name was cool.
It was cool. I almost did it.
It is a cool name. All right, next one. Which NBA franchise used to play in Omaha and Kansas City? A, the Grizzlies. B, the Pacers. Or C, the Kings.
I'm not sure about this one.
All right, turn them.
I have no idea.
Oh, you guys are both right.
I thought so, but I was doubting myself.
Omaha, Kansas City Kings. Anyone go to a Kings game? Anyone been to a Kings game in Omaha before? Michael? Okay, we got
yourself.
one. That's pretty cool. All right. Next one. Which fast food item was created with the help of the University of Nebraska? A, the McDonald's McRib. B, the Arby's roast beef sandwich, or C, the Runza sandwich? You got some people laughing in the crowd.
You know this one, right?
I don't know. I think so.
Okay, turn it.
Yeah.
Hey, you're
Okay.
actually wrong.
Oh, wait, what?
It's the McDonald's McRib. That was
Wait, say the question. We helped them?
we helped them create it. There was this guy at the University of Nebraska, a professor, if you will. He helped create like the binding whatever that makes the McRib. So he didn't
Okay,
create the
we need
McRib
to fact check
there.
this, but isn't the McRib like the most unhealthy thing?
I think it would be a running
never
for
got one of
the
those.
Runza and the McRib.
The professor's
The
name,
Runza is healthy for your soul.
We got
okay.
the numbers guy over here's got it.
Roger Mandingo in 1972.
There we go.
Wow.
That's who helped it.
That was a trick question.
That was a trick
So you
question.
can thank Professor Mandingo for that.
What are we at score-wise? Gina's got 3.
3-2.
2.
3-2? Okay. Should we do an all for nothing? All or nothing?
Yeah.
Fine.
Or all for nothing?
It's all my only hope.
Okay.
Okay. I'll pick one that nobody would know, I don't think.
Oh, good.
Which of these was invented in Nebraska? A, frozen TV dinners. B, Skippy peanut butter. Or C, the mason jar.
Say it again. The answer or the questions or not the questions, the
The answer-
selections.
Okay. Frozen TV dinners.
Okay.
Skippy peanut butter. Or the mason jar. Okay, this is for all your points.
Uh-oh.
Or you have 0.
I say Maggie was pretty decisive over here.
All right, turn them. Both of you are wrong.
Darn
It was the frozen TV dinner.
So
I was
random.
hoping it wasn't that one.
I have another question. Don't worry, guys.
Okay.
This is really for the winner. The College World Series is played in Omaha. Who has won the most titles in NCAA history? Is it A, USC, B, Florida, or C, Texas? I feel like both of you. Okay, we'll see. Turn them.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
It's both wrong. It's USC. They have.
Oh, really?
Guess how many they have. We'll do that. Whoever is closest wins. How
Are
many?
we talking of all time?
all time? Yeah. How many does USC have?
Oh, we gotta write it. Or
we
say
have like
it?
a number
You gotta
range?
write it.
I'll give you a number range. It's 5 through 25. All right, flip them. It's 12.
Wow, right on the dot.
Non-Nebraskan wins. Nice. Good work, Maggie.
I don't know if that had anything to do with.
Incredible.
Dang it, Mason's gonna be so mad at me. There's 2 baseball questions on there.
I mean, I was gonna guess Arkansas for the most College World Series.
I knew you were thinking. I don't think they've ever won one.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They always make
Maybe
it
the
there.
most appearances.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been there. They just couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, they were. Yep. Yep. Every year. All right. Well, Gina, Maggie, thank you guys so much
Thank
for
you guys
joining
so much.
Supernovas
Fun.
Unlimited.
Thank
you
you
so
guys.
We'll take a quick break from here, and then we'll have Coach Bird up next. All right, welcome back to Supernovas Unlimited. Coach Laura Bird Kuhn joining us, and I'm going to start with the toughest question of all. How'd you get your nickname?
So when I was born like a month early, and I had really long, skinny bird legs. And so as I was growing up, my dad always called me Laura Lou and then Lulu Bird. And I mean, I went to high school. He was my basketball coach, but everyone knew me as Bird before I even got to high school.
Oh, wow.
And so even my teachers, everyone called me Bird. But then what was really weird was when I went on my visit to Georgia Tech. And he was on the visit with me, and the coaches were like, why does he keep calling her a Bird? Because at that point, like, everything in the recruiting was just my real name. And then it just stuck. Like, even everyone at Georgia Tech, my academic advisor the first semester, he was like, who is Laura Kuhn? Whose grades are these? And I'm like, that's me. I'm like, that's me. So, yeah, then it just stuck. And then with volleyball, with coaching, recruiting got awkward also, because then people that knew me as Bird, but then other people were like, Coach Kuhn and Laura, I'm like, you guys can just call me Bird. So I just started writing it into my own signature.
Oh, wow.
Because it was like weird when people would call me, but they didn't know me, or the people that knew me.
You're living two lives.
Well, yeah, the communication was like, is that the same person? And I'm like, oh, geez. So, yeah, but it was my dad back in the day.
Love it. Well, it's been settled, so all the fans know now. Coach Bird, awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Coach Bird, this team sits at 8-4, second place in the Pro Volleyball Federation. Won 4 of its last 5, 7 in the last 9. How do you assess where this team is at right now?
I think just across the league, it was such like a cannonball into training camp and then playing matches that you're seeing the product gets better, because over time the players have played together longer. You're building a chemistry that takes time in the sport because it's very skilled, but then it's also very team. And so that's why these matches have gotten better too. And the testament to our team is the resilience, and I know that they both, Maggie and Gina, just spoke to it. Our training camp was special, and it's been cool that we got to bring Maggie King back, and I know they all keep in touch, but to bring those elements and those people back, it just builds on our energy. But I've said it since we started, they are very resilient, and they have a bond and a relationship within them that continues to grow and build through the season, and that's cool. We've got to be on the road a lot, and I think that helps teams bond together.
What kind of foundation do you hope to lay in Omaha with how this team plays and is supported throughout the community?
I think Omaha is a special place, obviously Nebraska and volleyball, but this group is special, and so laying the foundation for this league and just volleyball in our country, being professional now, this core group will go down in history, and I think the foundation of that and just everything that happens throughout the season is going to be not only historic, but so good for them as individuals, as people, but us as a team and a program and an organization. It'll be something that even in our college programs, we talk about that, like you are a part of something special and it's bigger than you, but they're doing it. And I know it's challenging. I know it's been challenging. And I've said it since we all got here, we're in it together. There are things that are going to happen this season. It's the first time. And so it's cool to be a part of the first time. It's also very challenging. And that's why I keep saying they're so resilient, because that is what the foundation is being laid. And that's what makes them so special as a group.
I mean, you're here in Omaha, the crowds, the record-breaking crowds. I mean, has anything surprised you about being and playing volleyball in Nebraska so far?
I think the biggest surprise was, I would arguably say, that first match. Like, none of us knew. I mean, Gina spoke to it like she was here, feet on the ground, like doing a lot of work in the community, and like it's going to be a pro team. But, I mean, we were talking about something that never existed. And so there was no real blueprint or what this would look like or what this should look like. So for us to come out into that first match, none of us knew. We didn't know how many fans would be there. I mean, I even talked to some of the Atlanta Vibe players after that match. No one knew. There was zero expectation. I think sometimes that the unknown is like almost like the most unnerving. And so when we ran out there, and I guarantee the players felt it, that had to be so cool. But then not only that, so get over that. The warm-up ends, whatever, the match starts. And then it's like the level of volleyball that was played. 5 sets. It's a Wednesday night. I mean, there are college matches, some of the highest level matches that our country has seen, and there aren't crowds like that stay then through the 5 sets on a weeknight. That crowd stayed, and they were actually cheering for us, and they'd never even seen us play, and they were already bought into our team. I think that was one of the coolest moments. And so now it's built on that, but that was one of the coolest moments to be in that environment and to feel our home crowd, and it was the first time they'd ever seen us play.
And you almost reverse swept Atlanta too in that first one. It was an incredible match just coming back, but my favorite part was at the end, the entire crowd stood up and cheered and clapped.
Yep.
Just as a thank you. Like, did you feel that at the end too? It didn't matter if this team won or lost.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was obviously upset, the competitor in me, but that atmosphere again, you just go back to it. No one knew what to expect, and that's why I do have to talk to the players, and I like to talk to the other teams too, because we've all known each other. We all have coached and played against each other. But you have to enjoy the experience. And yes, we're all competitive, and yes, we want to win, and yes, we all have anger issues sometimes. But at the end of it, what we're doing as a whole, as a professional volleyball league, is so special for the sport, and that's why we're all doing it. So I'm excited for the athletes, all together, the athletes, but for this group for sure. It's so fun to do this with a group that you're really connected to.
Did you ever think you'd be coaching professionally in America?
No. Mm-mm.
What was your reaction when you found out you could be a part of the Supernovas?
I was actually overseas. I was just traveling last year. I had started talking to some people about the pro leagues, but I never paid attention to it. You know, like when you're coaching and you're busy in your own world. So I didn't really know much about it. And so I was having conversations with multiple people. And then to me, it was a no-brainer for the sport. No matter where I was going to be or how the impact, whether it was coaching or on the league side or what was going to happen, I knew I wanted to be a part of the first year also because I want to know all of the ins and outs and how to help as we continue years down the road and help everyone else, the new franchises, the players, the coaches. So everyone, it's like I wanted the hands-on experience so that I could help. That's like how I've been. And I think our volleyball community is a very special group. And there are so many connections. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I just wanted to be in the first season.
Talking about that adjustment from college to pro, I mean, if you're watching a pro match with a regular fan, you're trying to explain to them the biggest difference, what they're seeing in the pro level versus the college level, what would you say that is?
I've talked to many coaches, but even fans and family and friends as they're watching our team, and it's the defense. And if you see it live, it is even way more different than when you watch it on TV because the pace of it. And even us as coaches, I mean, there are rallies that you're just like, no way they made that play. Or they dig some balls and it's like in system. And just fans watching, it's like cool. But when you've played the sport and you're watching it and you're seeing how they're executing certain things at that level, it's laughable. Like sometimes I just like chuckle or I just don't even react because I'm like, that's sick. That's like amazing. But it's the defense. I mean, it's the defensive plays and, yeah, I mean, that's the game changer.
And you're coaching a lot different of age ranges compared to college, 4 or 5 years to, now you can have a 10-year age gap between players. And, that was exemplified today with Maggie and Gina. But I want to take some time to talk about Maggie and drafting her because we had some interesting dialogue about the word swag was brought up, which I need to hear more about this usage of the word swag in 2024.
Yeah. Was that not a good word to use? Can I not use the word swag?
I mean, it's a little outdated nowadays.
Okay, well, that's not even that weird for me then, because that's all I hear about is that I'm old, but I'm like, I'm really not old. But okay. I wish she was up here because I was dying listening to her. But now that I know her, it's even better because, yeah, all the things I thought. No, she is a stud. But I would give her props. Yeah, walking into a gym at this level, again, it's like a cannonball. You're in this gym, you're with and we have veterans that have played for a long time at the highest level. And so to come into that atmosphere and that environment right off the bat, but I will tell that the college draftees that came in, they were coming right after their season, so they were like ready to roll. So she's crushed it, and obviously athletes are very hard on themselves and they're their biggest critic, like they said. But you guys, she had swag. And I don't know what other word you want me to use. I've been learning a lot. This is where I need to hang out with people that, whatever. I don't do social media. I'm not into all of that. But anyways, that is the word I used. And she called me because we had been texting and we talked. And I'm like, yeah, the draft, we actually don't know what to expect. But like there's going to be 5 rounds. So it's going to last like probably 3 to 4 hours. We'll call you. Like, if we draft you, we'll call you, or if you get drafted, they'll call you. And so we talked about that stuff. And I think she, like, asked me, like, why her or something. And I'm like, the way you play with such swag, which is confidence, people. Mm-hmm. She has confidence. But I just told her when she came back there, when they got done, I'm like, yeah, it was the way, honestly, it was the way she walked back during the round. I went and watched them live against Kentucky, right here in Nebraska. And it was the way she walked back. She might have gotten a kill even, and then she walked back and she was serving next. Yeah, and then she just tells me she'd missed like every serve during training, during practice. So I'm like, yeah, you're walking with swag because you probably knew you were going to miss that serve. But she is. They've been a great group, and she's going to be a stud. She is a stud now. It's just you had to stay resilient in your mind. But it's cool. I love the age gap, and it's so cool to see them all, their interactions, their relationships. That is like one of the coolest things I think as a coach. Besides just coaching this level and getting to, I don't feel like a coach. I feel like I'm like a sounding board or someone that's just there to like help them out in certain moments or give advice. But to see them interact and almost coach each other, it's so cool to see.
In kind of shifting gears to that, let's talk about Gina's swag and what does she bring to the team?
We're bringing the word back is what we're doing.
What has she brought to the team just overall and during her transformation from playing now to being sidelined and taking on that role? What have you seen from Gina?
Well, first of all, Gina's like the voice of reason and the logic. So before any of the pregnancy, any of that happened, the Mama G now is like perfect because that's what she was even in training camp. She's very calm demeanor, doesn't say a lot, but when she does, people listen. Arguably one of our strongest left sides through the training camp. And then into season, same thing. She was very consistent, always coming in, like didn't even need to lead by example because it was just, there was never a conversation or anything. It was, Gina was always doing it. Gina was doing this. Gina would like literally like take a huddle or just manage whatever was going on. And now I've told her multiple times, I've been like, you are my voice. You're like we talk about warm blankets on the staff. Anyways, she is my voice of reason, my logic. Like when she has our back, when she'll step up and say things, it was like seamless. It was like the next day. She was a player coach and it was just like, boop, Gina's voice. And I loved it. She's been awesome to have in the gym and she is constantly there, just like she said, whatever it is, what can I do? Now, sometimes she knows that it's therapeutic for me to serve sometimes, so I like to jump in. And so she's like, do you want to do this one? I'm like, yeah, I'll just get back here. I got it. But no, she's been awesome. It's been like a natural progression for her, but I know that playing is still in her, so we got her.
What's it like putting together so much talent? Because the players that are on your bench aren't used to being on the bench ever. What's it like managing all the talent and just, not having egos and just putting together so much trust and chemistry on the court with people that maybe haven't played together?
That has been, to me, it's a challenge, but it's also been what I respect and love about this group. Because as a coach, you manage a lot of that. But they are professionals. And everyone's different. Everyone has different personalities, and they want communication different, and they need different things. But at the end of the day, I love when matches start because we're all there to win. And obviously, you guys have watched our matches. Like, we have made lineup changes, adjustments in match, and it is an instant like, yep, we're going to do whatever it takes. But my favorite moment, and I don't even know what match, it was a couple well, it's every match, but I think we had changed almost the entire starting lineup at one point.
I remember this.
And we meet as a staff, and then I'll go into the huddle and whatever, just say something. And I walked into the huddle, and every starter that had been replaced was giving feedback. And they're locked in, and they're talking to each other. But that's what I've told them in the locker room after matches and during practice. The way they communicate and handle each other and the team and competing, that is the game changer for this franchise and this team and the success because they're doing it. And it's their relationships. But that's, as a coach, that's like the one thing you want. Like it gives you, it was like probably one of my happiest moments as a coach, walking into a huddle and seeing that because you don't see it. And I'm never going to take that for granted because I've coached long enough that I've seen all sides of it. But that was one of my favorite moments of all time.
That's awesome. And I mean, you talk about that. I mean, the pros are just naturally more player-led than in college. And I mean, now you have experience in both. So how has your coaching philosophy and approach changed from your time in college and now altering that to adapt here to the pros?
I think when Shelton and I first started talking about this, and I will shout him out big time, the team, the roster, and the staff that was built, it is so unique, and that's what he's a master at. And to put personalities together that have never been together, and then getting them to be on the same page from day one. That's what we talked about, the communication, how we're going to communicate, making them a part of it, the respect, the mutual respect. And so as a coach, I want to hear them. I want their feedback. But sometimes I'm like, okay, so you guys want structure? You don't want structure? Which one what do we want today? So, but they know what they need. And so we want to make them a part of it. Even Becca and Laura, our strength coach, like we want them to have that piece of communication where, yeah, what do you guys need? What are you feeling? Because they've done it for so long. what do we need to do today? What do you guys want to focus on? There's always times at practice and in training that you allow them to work on what they feel they want to work on.
And is that a huge change from college, maybe where you're trying to help a player discover what they want and need in training? Has that been a big adjustment for you?
Yeah, I think here it's like they've been through and they've played for long enough that their game is their game. Now, when it comes to systems and what we're doing as a team, yes, that is stuff that we will navigate and we'll communicate and we'll be very specific on what we want. But for them as individuals, they kind of know and they know what they want to work on or their strengths and what they want to get better at. So that stuff, we just want to be there as like guardrails to help them feel confident in what they need. But I think it's more of a collaboration. Like in college, it is a very regimented, like this is our system. We have to bring everyone together. They're younger. They haven't played as much volleyball as they have. Mm-hmm. This is like conversations and understanding what we're doing. And it's cool to see them work through that because they've all played different styles of volleyball too. So it is more collaborative and communicative, if that is a good word. Not swag, but
It's better than swag.
yeah, okay. I'll still
The
use
new
swag.
word is Riz, I think.
Riz?
We should do a trivia game of new slang words with Coach Bird.
Yeah.
What was it? Drip. Yeah, drip. Drip, I think, more pertains to the outfit.
Yeah.
You know drip, yeah.
I've heard that.
You've
yes.
heard the drip.
Don't
Okay.
know if I'll
So
ever
you're
use
learning
it.
a lot of new things.
I'm always learning. Always learning. You would have a field day with things that I've learned
Okay.
that I don't know.
We'll have to go through those at some point. In 10 days, though, this team plays Grand Rapids back at home at the CHI Health Center, March 28th. Mm-hmm. 10 days off, so what's the plan in between?
So this week is going to be so good for us. We practice today, but we'll train and get into a lot of live 6-on-6. And obviously we like to be competitive, so we'll switch up lineups, try new things. It's a second half of a season, and there's only 7 teams, and they're very good. So we want to implement some new things and, get them firing on all cylinders, get people, we've been really healthy, knock on wood, so that's been good. So we'll get some solid training in. We'll give them a long weekend because I think time off is huge. And then we'll get back in next week and have a solid week as we prepare for Grand Rapids.
How much of a relief is that to actually get some work in? Because, you guys were on the road so much where it's like you don't really have time in between matches where it's only 2 or 3 days to get actual work in on strategy and just all of that. So is that kind of a welcomed relief here in March?
Yeah, and it's nice to get into a routine. I think we had a little bit of that, maybe a week, 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool to just kind of get into a routine where you actually have 4 days of training and you can taper and you can, there are some times that we're just serving, we're not even playing hardly. And so that's management. You have to load manage, but for this next almost 2 weeks, it's cool to be able to give them time off also. So train, do a training block, and then time off, and then come back and train and just prepare like a regular week for a match.
And to follow up on that, what's the most important aspect for this team's success in the second half? What's the key?
Our focus this week is going to be defensive transition. Obviously, we just talked about that. The defense is the big key in this league right now, but I think terminating in a defensive transition can help us. And obviously you're playing against a solid defense, but that's where I talk about offensively, if we can grow our offense a little bit more and maybe switch things around or move some pieces. But I always also say keep it simple. It's still volleyball, so it's just the endurance and then how to find ways to score faster.
Coach Bird, you're not off the hook with trivia.
Are we just going to repeat the trivia that we just were? Because I think it could be a memory game for me.
Nope. We've got new trivia, but I need a volunteer from the crowd. Does someone want to play trivia against Coach Bird?
Do it.
We got a hand up over here. You want to play?
Yeah. Come on up here.
If Mom says yes.
Oh, here we go.
We got another one.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let me tell you.
Get on up here.
Trivia is not my strong suit. You can ask John Corbelli. I started doing some trivia with him while we travel.
What's up? What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Welcome, Andrew.
I do not see this going very well.
Hi, Andrew.
Nice to meet you.
Bring it on. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Bird did mention she's very competitive, so I'd watch out, Andrew.
All right.
All right, let's hit this music and we'll get going.
I do love the music.
Thanks. Picked out myself. Which is not a name of a town in Nebraska, so these are different ones. A, Peru. B, Duke. C, Harvard. I feel like you're trying to read my mind.
Yeah, I am.
She's trying to analyze what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, which is not a name of a town. All right, ready? Flip them. Both correct.
Hey, there we go.
Duke is faked.
Great start.
Wow.
Peru and Harvard, both places in Nebraska. Any natives of Peru or Harvard, give you $100 if so.
Wow.
6-man champs a couple years back. I know that.
This will really test
6-man
Bird.
football. Yeah.
Which famous person was born in Nebraska? Is it A, John Cena, B, Jojo Siwa, or C, Lady Gaga?
I don't know. Wait. Gosh. Did you get it right?
Let's
It's
see
a
'em.
guess.
That was going to be the one I wanted.
Both wrong.
Wow.
Coach Bird,
Jojo
I'll
Siwa.
give you a tally if you can tell me who Jojo Siwa is.
No clue.
Okay.
Yeah.
No chance.
The kids in here know, and the parents do too. There he is. Everyone's shaking
Who
their
is
head
it?
over there. She's a famous dancer, started on that one TV show with Abby Lee Miller.
Dance moms. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a TikTok star now. Look her up, actually.
TikTok.
You'll like her most recent
I'll
video.
get right on that.
Okay, that's the next thing you need to learn, TikTok. No more swag. All right, which cereal was invented in Omaha? Was it A, Raisin Bran, B, Frosted Flakes, or C, Honey Bunches of Oat?
I don't even know that one. I've known everyone so far. So this one's a good one.
Well, now you all know what I just wrote. 'Cause it's the longest title possible.
Yeah, both are wrong. It's Raisin Bran.
Oh,
Got some Raisin Bran fans in here. Let's go.
I only missed one on the first one, so
So you-
not going very well.
Do you have a tally here? We have a tally
Are
here?
you nervous?
Yeah, you got Duke. Or you both
Oh, I
got
got
Duke.
one.
we
Yeah, I
are
got
tied.
tied at
We
one.
both have one.
Sorry.
Like weird.
All right, this next one might be a little easy. Are you from Nebraska, Andrew?
Yes.
Okay. The birthplace of what famous drink is Omaha, or is Nebraska? I don't know exactly where it's from. A, Lipton tea. B, Dr. Pepper. He's already writing it, so Kool-Aid.
I don't want to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to skip that one. That's too easy for my boy Andrew over
No,
here.
he can be up 2 to
All
1.
right, 2 to 1.
I'll give him that.
We'll give him that one.
You can
Didn't
follow
even
up
have to
with
write
which
anything.
town.
Do you know the town?
I do.
Okay. Give him
All
3
right.
options.
Option 1, Scottsbluff. Option 2, Hastings. And option 3, Kearney.
They're all actually Nebraska.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were gonna make it a little easier for me. Woo! What was the drink?
Kool-Aid.
What
Oh
were
my
the
gosh, you don't know what
options?
Kool-Aid is?
Scottsbluff, Hastings, Kearney.
Do you know this, Andrew?
I do not. I think I know one it's not.
Well, I hope we're right.
Yeah, you're both right.
Hey!
It's Hastings.
Still up by 1. Oh, shoot.
3-2.
Yep.
All right, 3 to 2. Should we do all or nothing now?
Is it really all or nothing?
Yeah, you have to take away all your points, or you get a double them.
Okay.
Who won the last College World Series? Should I give you guys? Okay, you both don't know. I'm glad, based upon the
I'm just
facial reactions.
Mad at myself because I should know.
Okay, is it Texas, LSU, or Oklahoma?
I think I'm wrong.
It's LSU.
Oh,
I was gonna put
Andrew,
LSU.
our guy.
Andrew, thank you.
Where
for
are you
beating
from
me
in
today.
Nebraska? You from Omaha?
I'm from Lincoln.
You're from Lincoln.
Yep.
Okay. You know all about the Kool-Aid. Know all about the
Roulette all
towns.
over the place.
There you go.
I'm proud of you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank
Give
you.
a cordial handshake up here. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Andrew, we've got a beanie for you too. Omaha
Oh,
Supernovas
there you
swag,
go.
if you will.
Woo.
Love my swag.
There you go. All right, Andrew. Well, you can skedaddle on out of here with your new beanie. Make sure you wear that tonight. I heard it's gonna be cold.
We'll leave those checks right there. The winning checks.
Are you sad? Can we get a post-game press conference from you? What's your opening statement here?
I need to study more Nebraska history.
We've got 10 days off to do that.
Yeah, I'll read every night about Nebraska.
Next game up against Grand Rapids, Coach What's the biggest thing for this team moving forward? You mentioned defense, but also anything new you want to implement, anything that these fans can expect out of the squad?
I think just maintaining our offensive production. I mean, we need to continue to produce kills and terminate at a high level.
Are you excited for another record-breaking crowd? We're gonna do it again, guys?
Yes.
Might as well.
They
Over
have, like-
12,000 again.
Yeah, they have almost 2 weeks to rest up.
Yeah, we got to rest up, get all
bring
your
it
March
back.
Madness in, and then come back for some volleyball.
Yeah.
How about
March
that?
Madness. That's going to be great this weekend.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
You're a KU fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
I mean, I'm just a basketball fan in general, and Kansas is making me nervous right now, but I believe in them.
All right.
You're going to
See
be a
what
nervous
happens.
wreck, aren't you?
No, I don't really get nervous. I just will stop watching.
Just turn the TV off. Never happened. Check the score later.
Walk away. Yeah.
Well, Coach Bird, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you guys. This is very
Supernovas
cool. Thank you,
Unlimited.
fans.
Yes, thank you all for
Thank you,
coming out. We
everybody.
appreciate it. Hope you learned something new today about Nebraska.
Seriously.
Coach Bird did.
I did.
Thank you, guys.